rain delay here in Atlanta, but now it's time for some baseball. The Atlanta Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals in the final game of this 4-game series as the rain has finally cleared out of the Atlanta area. Hi, everybody. Pete Van Weeren along with Don Sutton. Thanks for being so patient and sticking around for Game 4 of this series, a game that will see one significant change, Don, in the Atlanta lineup today.
Sure will. There will be no Andrew Jones batting second, nor any Andrew Jones in center field. His streak of games of going 9 is over. He is on a very select list of folks who've gone over 120 times, completing all 9 innings. Wouldn't be surprised to see him in it before the game is over, so his consecutive streak will end. And a couple of guys who have mixed emotions about Colorado. Darryl Kile never really got into a groove there. He's a curveball pitcher, and the light air caused him not to be able to be as effective as he was down in Houston or as he has been with St. Louis. And John Burkett, incidentally, coming out of the game out in Colorado. Bobby Cox said he thought the last 2 innings he pitched out there. Burkett gave up 6 runs, but Bobby Cox said he thought the last 2 innings were as good as he had seen Burkett pitch. Under the circumstances, he didn't give him up any more runs when the game could have gotten away from him. And Bobby was really impressed with his pitching, so good, interesting pitching matchup. Guys who are better at sea level.
And we'll see if the Braves can maintain that lead over the New York Mets, who are holding on to a 2-1 lead over Arizona right now in the 9th inning of their game at Shea Stadium. We'll be back to start our game in Atlanta right after this.
Station brought to you by Office Depot, taking care of business one customer at a time with guaranteed low prices every day. Find the more than 2,800 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By the Home Depot, proud supporter of the Atlanta Braves. And by Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
It's going to be almost exactly 2.5 hours late, but the Braves have taken the field. Time to wrap up the series against the Cardinals, and time to take a look at today's America On lineup. For the Cardinals, it's the second baseman Fernando Vina to lead it off. J.D. Drew will bat second. Jim Edmonds, the center fielder, to hit third. Will Clark, boys, he had a career against the Braves. Now up to 22 home runs and a batting average of .335. A new third baseman today. It'll be Craig Paquette. Ray Langford in his familiar left field spot will hit 6. Carlos Hernandez gets to start behind the plate. Placido Polanco will be the shortstop. And Darryl Kile will pitch and bat 9th. We told you about Andrew Jones not being in center. Reggie Sanders is there on either side of him. B.J. Surhoff and Brian Jordan. At the corners, Chipper Jones at third. Wally Joyner starts at first. Up the middle, Weiss goes to short. That means Furcal will go to second. Bobby Lopez is behind the plate. And on the mound, John Burkett. Burkett is 8-5. It's been a while since he has won, but he is the guy that gets the runs when they tee it up. And as a starter has done far better than as a reliever, a total earned run average of .504. John Burkett looking for win number 9. This is his 17th start, his 26th appearance for the Braves. The men in blue will take 90 steps around the horn. And here's the way they'll line up today. There's Mike Victor, the rookie, behind the plate. C.B. Bucknor, who started the series behind the plate at first. Rick Reed at second. And Hunter Wendelstad will be over at third. And people often ask Pete, well, you know, you're supposed to start at 110. What does it do to a starting pitcher? He's probably the least concerned guy at the ballpark, because most starting pitchers are on a program that will start them warming up somewhere around 20 minutes till game time. So once you know when game time is, a starting pitcher really doesn't do anything except sit around in his underwear and read scouting reports until it's time to get ready. So the 2 least concerned guys around would have been Darryl Kile and John Burkett.
And it looks like we're set to go now. Fernando Vina will lead things off against John Burkett. And then J.D. Drew and then Jim Edmonds. Most of the fans did stick around for the entire 2.5-hour rain delay. And here's Vina to lead things off. He had a 17-game hitting streak snapped here last night. Even though the Cardinals won the game, he was 0 for 5. Hitting right at .300 now. Burkett has his work cut out for them with this batting order. The hitters in this lineup hitting a collective .400 against John Burkett. 38 for 95 with 7 home runs. One ball, no strikes to Fernando Vina, leading it off. Now the 1-0 to Fernando Vina. Over but low, 2-0. Cardinals trying to win a season series from Atlanta for the first time in 6 years. It's even at 3 wins apiece right now. Fly ball to left. Surhoff back a couple of steps to make the catch, one down. And J.D. Drew will be the hitter. Andrew Jones, as Don mentioned, not getting the start in center field today. He's been playing banged up for about the last month. There's been something bothering him, whether it's been a shoulder or a leg or an ankle. And last night, going back on a couple of those balls hit over his head, he apparently strained a calf muscle to add to all the little hurts. So Bobby Cox thought it best just to give him a day off. Although, as Don said, he probably will get into the game at some point to keep his consecutive game string going. Here's J.D. Drew now. First pitch swinging, little tap to third. Chipper Jones over to first, 2 down.
That's 2 quick outs for John Burkett, and first inning very important for him in 2 ways. One, he's allowed 16 runs and 16 starts in the first inning, and they're hitting .400 against him, and he's trying to shut down the best first inning scoring team in baseball.
Now Jim Edmonds, only 2 hits in the series. They were both home runs. He's 2 for 13 in the series. 0 for his last 9, hitting .303 in the year. That's a final now at Shea Stadium. The Mets have won their game. They've beaten Arizona by a final score of 2-1. A successful return to the rotation for Mike Hampton. Armando Benitez coming on to get the save, and Benny Agbayani a home run as they defeated Armando Reynoso.
How many innings were they able to get out of Hampton today?
8.
8. Good.
Only 3 hits for Arizona all day. Only 4 for the Mets. Great pitchers battle between Hampton and Reynoso, but the Mets win it, so the Braves need to win here to maintain their 2-game lead. 2-0 on Edmonds. There's a strike, and it's 2-1. Edmonds 36 homers, 89 RBIs on the year. Good, 2.
Numbers that put him near the top of the heap in almost every offensive category.
We might get a little sunshine breaking through here in a minute.
I see blue skies off to the left, and that's where all the weather was coming from.
Here's the 2-2 upstairs. It was raining from the very early hours of this morning, all morning long, and into the afternoon before finally clearing out. Good start for John Burkett. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals. In the top half of the first, Braves coming up.
As we head to the bottom of the first inning, and a look at Bobby Cox's batting order. Rafael Furcal to lead it off. He's at second. B.J. Surhoff in left will bat second. Chipper Jones has had a streaky but a very good week, as the numbers will attest, up over 350 and 8 RBIs for the last 7 days. Wally Joyner at first moves into the cleanup spot. He'll be followed by Javi Lopez. Brian Jordan will hit 6th. Reggie Sanders, Walt Weiss, and John Burkett complete the batting order. The defense for the Cardinals, an outfield of Langford, Edmonds, and Drew from left to right. Paquette, Polanco, Vina, and Clark from third to first. Carlos Hernandez gets the start behind the mask. And on the mound, Darryl Kile. He is 14-9. Last year, this time at altitude, was not having himself any fun. Overall, with the Rockies, 21-30 with a .584 earned run average. He still has allowed a few home runs, but he throws a lot of strikes. And the walk total, Pete, really down. He walked 109 guys last year. I think it's only about 46 this year.
Here's Rafael Furcal to start things and taking ball 1. That's always a key for Kyle, is control. He had a stretch when he was back with Houston where it got so bad they sent him back to AAA.
Unusual delivery. He doesn't look like he should be able to get a lot of leverage short-arming the ball. But he does, and runs it up there in the 90s and with a good curveball.
Strike 1 inside corner to Furcal. Rafael at 286. 25 RBIs. 4-13 in the series. His bat starting to come around after a road trip that saw him slump. And that's fouled straight back, 2-2. The reconstructed lineup with Andrew Jones not playing, B.J. Surhoff hitting second. And then Chipper.
He's had a good stop here this weekend.
There's a good start for Atlanta. Rafael Furcal with a leadoff single to start the bottom half of the first. His 5th hit in the series. And now B.J. Surhoff, who's right at 300 as a Brave with a homer and 6 RBIs, 4 hits in the series and 11 trips. Yeah, the whole Cardinals game seems to be, and has been all year, jump on a team early and then trying to hold on. They've been one of the highest scoring teams early in the game, in the first inning in particular.
Last night it was the 2nd inning in which they did it.
So the Braves trying to get the early jump on Tony La Russa's club here. A ball and no strikes to Surhoff.
I think Kile would like to use a little bit bigger leg kick, but out of respect for Furcal's speed, you're going to see him with just a short, not completely slide step, but he's only going to raise his left foot maybe 5-6 inches off the ground before going forward.
He has really had some peaks and valleys in his career. A 15-game winner for the Houston Astros in 1993 and 95. He went 4-12 and got sent back to the minors, as we said. Then back up to Houston, where he was a 19-game winner in 1997. And then shocked everybody, including his own teammates at Houston, when he signed as a free agent with the Colorado Rockies.
He's a curveball pitcher, and you know you cannot have good breaking stuff at altitude, and I think that's what shocked so many people.
More than doubled his ERA his first year at Colorado. Last year it went up to 6.61. And he was traded to the Cardinals in the offseason. There goes the runner. The throw down by Hernandez right on target. They pitched out and they guessed right. And Carlos Hernandez has now thrown out 40% of attempted base stealers since coming over to St. Louis.
I'm not sure this was pitch out as much as it was a backdoor breaking ball. And he goes out to get it. He knows he's going, and it was a breaking ball. If they pitched out, they pitched out with the breaking ball. Some clubs will do that. You seldom see it.
Surhoff rolls one to first. Will Clark has that one and will take it himself to the bag for out number 2. 2 gone. That'll bring up Chipper Jones. You got a couple of really good arms behind the plate for this Cardinal team, and Mike Matheny and Hernandez. Matheny's thrown out 48% of attempted base stealers. Now Hernandez has thrown out 6 out of 15, 40% since coming over. That's a very good tandem. Chipper Jones 3 for 12 in the series, 306 on the year with 30 homers. Taking strike 1. I've always thought, Don, you were talking about rain delays and how they affect players. I've always thought a rain delay affects an everyday player a lot more than it does a starting pitcher.
Oh, I think you're right.
That starting pitcher,
he's on a program.
On a program, like you said, 20 minutes before whatever game time might be, he goes out there and warms up. The hitters have a routine a lot when they come to the park, and they go out and take some BP, and they go out and shag some fly balls, take some ground balls. When all that is canceled, you do have an indoor cage, but it's not the same.
And it seems like an everyday player's routine is spread out over an hour and a half or 2 hours. For a pitcher, you could be just sitting there taking a nap and 30 minutes later be in the ballgame.
2-2 now in Chipper Jones.
All a starting pitcher needs to know is when. When am I going to lock and load?
Off the glove of Kile. He slowed it down enough for Vina to get to it, and he throws out Chipper Jones. So both pitchers off to a good start. No score at the end of 1.
The telecast is presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
We go to inning number 2. Will Clark, Craig Paquette, Ray Langford.
And Clark has already attracted quite a following in the Cardinal faithful.
Well, all weekend long we've had a lot of Cardinal fans in town for this series. This series was one of those that sold out almost before any other series did this year. It sold out for the most part back in the wintertime because of the attraction that Mark McGwire always has for the only trip in by the Cardinals. McGwire, of course, unavailable this series, still on the disabled list, but they sure haven't missed a beat with this guy. Will Clark, 383 with 7 homers for the Cardinals. 5 of them have come against Atlanta. 1 ball, no strikes to Will Clark.
His first home run against Kevin Millwood was off a good pitch. It's a pitch that probably most hitters would have taken high for a ball.
2-0 now on Clark. He's 5 out of 8 in this series. Had one of his better games of the year last night with 2 home runs and an RBI double. Right to the first baseman, Joyner. Burkett covers. He's retired 4 straight. And now third baseman Craig Paquette.
Number 21.
237 for the year with 9 homers. No score, only the top of the second after a 2.5-hour rain delay. And the Braves trying to keep up with the Mets, who won their game today 2-1 over Arizona. So it's a 1.5 games right now lead for Atlanta. St. Louis more comfortably atop their division, 7.5 up on Cincinnati. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Reds come in next. Greg Maddux against Scott Williamson tomorrow night in the opening game of that 4-game series. That's how it looks right up to the moment.
A lot of breathing room for the Cardinals, but the Braves are in a pennant fight.
Here's the 1-2 now to Paquette. On the ground slowly towards second, right at for call. And Burkett's been sharp 5 in a row. Have been retired.
No 2 consecutive pitches the same speed with the same movement. He moves around. He's not going to knock the bat out of your hands, but he tries hard to stay out of the heart of the strike zone.
Now Ray Lankford, he's had a good series, 6 for 12 with a couple of homers, hitting .253 for the year. The first home run he hit in this series, the 200th of his career. And he added 1 more after that. Takes a strike. Of all the hitters in the Cardinal lineup, Lankford has the most career homers off of Burkett. He's hit 4 home runs off John. A lot more at bats. Hitting .327 lifetime. The 1-1. 2-1.
The Cardinals put that outfield out there about 8 years ago of good young hitters, and Lankford was the name that kept being mentioned as that was going to be traded for pitching. And here Lankford has survived everybody, including Bernard Gilkey, who was one of the talented youngsters, and Brian Jordan spent some time there too.
2-2 pitch. 3-2 now, and Lankford. Strike 3 called outside corner. Lankford thought he had walked. Plate umpire Mike Fichter rings him up. Lankford not happy about it. Another 1-2-3 inning for Burkett. Still no score.
Braves have everything but a babysitter in the Braves Clubhouse Collection catalog. They have authentic Braves merchandise for all ages and all sizes, like the Major League Baseball Authentic Silhouette T-shirt or the new Authentic Players Practice T-shirt. Order your catalog today, and you can do it by calling the number you've seen right there on your screen, or you can e-net it up at www.atlantabraves.com.
Wally Joyner to lead off the second, hitting .276, 5 homers. takes a strike. Marcus Galarraga gets the day off today. So a little bit of a different look to the Braves lineup from the first 3 games in this series. That's out of play. 0-2. Joyner 1 for 3 in the series. All of his at bats as a pinch hitter.
Tough night last night for Galarraga. I wonder if that thumb and hand are bothering him, because he's had a little trouble with some ground balls over there.
Yeah, he has, and he's made a lot of errors lately, mostly with the glove hand, not throwing errors or not anything that would indicate any other problem except for possibly that thumb still trying to pick up ground balls, especially when they're hit hard.
Probably trying to catch it in the web instead of aggressively going right at it as he would have normally. We'll take a look at one of these last night and see. There it was almost like he went at it very gingerly, trying to stay back and making sure it hit the right spot in the first baseman's glove.
Polanco at short. 1 gone in the second for Atlanta in a scoreless game, and that'll bring up Javi Lopez. Lopez, .291 for the year with 21 homers. He's 2 out of 5 in the series, 1 home run hit. And moved up to the number 5 spot on the order today. He's the one hitter in this lineup that has really struggled against Darryl Kile in his career. Pena throws him out. He's now 4 for 34 lifetime against Kile.
Well, Kyle throws a lot of breaking balls, and he may be just wild enough to be effective against Javi Lopez, who's a good breaking ball hitter if you're just throwing him for strikes. But he also has a tendency to expand his strike zone and chase a lot of them out of the strike zone. And he's made a lot of outs on the first pitch, just like he did that one.
2 gone. Now Brian Jordan, .269, 16 home runs. He's 1 for 7 in the series against his former team. Takes a strike from Kyle. Another ground ball. Big high hop to third. That's a good play by Paquette. He got rid of it in a hurry. Had to. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Darryl Kile, and we head to the third. Still scoreless from Atlanta.
Top of the third, no score. Time for a look at our Wendy's leaderboard, our category National League team home runs, and the leader might surprise you. Take a look at this. The Houston Astros, followed closely by the Cardinals. The rest of the top 5, the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Mets. And in that group, the Astros do surprise me.
Well, that's a complete flip-flop.
Yep.
2 years ago, the Astros and Cardinals you'd find at the bottom of baseball for home runs hit. The new ballpark in Houston has a lot to do with their success.
And that's our Wendy's leaderboard.
Ball 1 to Carlos Hernandez, .251 with a couple of home runs for the year.
Has a lot to do with their success, but only in one category.
Yeah, it hasn't translated into many victories, has it, for Houston? Here's the 1-1 now to Hernandez. Up the middle, and great stop by Weiss on to first and gets him. Walt Weiss takes a base hit away from Carlos Hernandez. Outstanding defensive play.
Well, I think Walt knew if he could get to it and get a glove on it, he could throw out the catcher. Getting to it was the big thing. Stretched full length, got to his feet, had plenty of time. Hernandez with catcher speed. Probably smells base hit right about there and can't believe it when he sees Weiss come up with it. Nice play. 7
straight retired now by Burkett, and that'll bring up Placido Polanco, playing short today for the Cardinals. .338 with 3 homers. He's gone 1 for 5 in the series. Burkett getting ahead of hitters. 0-1 on Polanco. That evens the count on Placido Polanco. How of the Dominican Republic.
Usually you do that against Mark McGuire, but not a Placido Polanco. That is coached down the left field line.
2-1. You know, to kill some time during, I think it was the rain delay on Thursday, which was not nearly as long as today's. It was only 2 hours and 20 minutes Thursday. I was just leafing through the rule book. You know, there's a rule about the coaches in the coaching box.
They're supposed to stay in
They're
it.
supposed to stay in the coaching box. There is no penalty for being out of the coaching box unless an opposing team files a complaint with an umpire. Now, can you imagine what kind of a ruckus that would cause if any opposing man, because coaches never stand in the coaching box. But there actually is a rule in the book that says that the coach is supposed to stay in there. For a call to Joyner. Only one ball hit out of the infield so far against Burkett. That was the fly ball by Vini to start the game. And now pitcher Darryl Kile.
I bet the only time they would complain would be if they thought he was trying to get a peek at the signs or trying to steal pitches. That's the only time I've ever heard anybody yell at them from the dugout. There's no advantage there except it takes a foul ball longer to get to you. That's a defensive move.
Kile 123 for the year. 7 out of 57. Takes a strike, another first pitch strike. I like the wording in the rule book. It has been common practice for many years for some coaches to put 1 foot outside the coach's box.
Yes,
1
it
foot.
has.
How about 20 feet between them and the coach's box?
2 feet, 20 feet away.
That's the most unused area of a baseball field of any.
Well, I hope we don't upset any coaches by showing that.
Here's the 1-2 now to Darryl Kile. Fouled back. Yeah, the coach shall not be considered out of the box unless the opposing manager complains, and then the umpire shall strictly enforce the rule and require all coaches on both teams to remain in the coach's box at all times. That's why it never comes up. And that's the end of the inning for Darryl Kile, and all 3 innings have ended with the John Burkett strikeout. He has retired 9 straight. We head to the bottom of the 3rd.
Let's take a look at our Office Depot scoreboard. One of most interest to Braves fan. The Arizona Diamondbacks beating the Mets, and the Mets have come out on top. Hampton won his 13th. As we roll through these scores for you, a couple things you might want to look for. When Colorado visits Pittsburgh, Husky, Helton, and Jeffrey Hammonds have all homered. Most of the other stuff, some pretty good pitching battles going on all the way through. And when you get to the Boston, Kansas City, Jermaine Dye with his 31st homer making a difference in that ball game. And that's a look at all the scores on our Office Depot scoreboard. You can keep up with these by logging on to CNNSI.com. It's Sports Illustrated at CNN Speed.
Reggie Sanders getting the start in center field. Leads off the 3rd, hitting 183, 5 homers, 0 for 13 since coming off the disabled list. And hoping to get something going today. And maybe that's all it took. A leadoff single to start the bottom of the 3rd for Reggie Sanders. That had to seem like it was never going to happen for him again. Remember, he was on the disabled list for 2 weeks and then went 0 for 13 after coming off the list and scattered at bats. It's been about a month since he's had his last hit.
Left-handed hitter who handles the bat up there, and a guy who has 13 steals. If Bobby Cox wanted to put something in motion early, he's got the right combination. By the way, that's his first hit, Pete, since July 27th.
1 month to the day.
1 month.
Ball 1 to Walt Weiss. Weiss hitting .237 left-handed this year, .385 right-handed. He's been very, very pleased with his swing from the right side. But we'll admit that he has struggled quite a bit from the left side this year and doesn't really have any explanation for it. In the air, right center field. That might find a hole. It does, dropping between Drew and Edmonds. Weiss on his way to second. Runners at second and third. Nobody out. So a couple of guys who were slumping in a way. Weiss only from one side of the plate. Sanders, since coming off the disabled list, have gotten the Braves in business here at the bottom of the third.
Fastball down and in. You can't drop one in any better spot between the two outfielders. Some good base running by Reggie Sanders too. He got out close to second where he had a good angle. The flight of the ball right over his head, so he could see where the outfielders were. See where he is at second. He could see where the flight of the ball was. It came right over his head. Good base running, and good base running by Walt Weiss.
John Burkett 3 out of 29. Chance here for his first RBIs of the season. Takes a strike, 0-1.
I don't think it's a bad move early in the ballgame to bring your infield in against a pitcher. Those pitchers hit a lot of off the end of the bat little squirters, and you might save a run on a check swing or a little dribbler by bringing them in.
1-1 on Burkett. No score. Braves had the game's only 3 hits. We're in the bottom of the third. Runners at second and third. Here's the 1-1. Little flare, might get through. Vigna, no play anywhere. Base hit and RBI for John Burkett. Well, that was one of those little off the end of the bat type of hits.
But he got a little elevation and got it up over the first baseman. That time he may have benefited from the infield being in. I think he hit that with this morning's Journal Constitution, an inside-out little squirter. And if Will Clark is back, he makes the play. But perfectly placed, a couple of perfectly placed balls this inning.
It's Burkett's first RBI of the year. It gives the Braves a 1-0 lead. First and third, still nobody out. And Rafael Furcal will be the batter.
But that brings his career RBI total up to 15.
Furcal a single in the first inning and was caught stealing. Ball 1 to Furcal.
Sometimes first and third you see the managers go for a sacrifice and try to get the other guy in scoring position, but right now you've got a pitcher at first. It's going to take a perfect bunt to get him there, so probably the best thing would be to give Furcal a chance to drive Weiss home from third, not try to get Burkett in the scoring position at second.
2-0 on Furcal. Kile only 5-11 in his career against Atlanta. He's over 500 overall in the major leagues. 106 wins, 104 losses. But never much success against the Braves. 2-0 pitch. Shallow left field. Langford for the catch, tagging at third, Walt Weiss. Here comes Langford's throw. It'll be up the line. Another run is in. Now it gets by Hernandez, and that'll get Burkett down to second. Well, we've seen a lot of this in this series. That'll be a sac fly for Rafael Furcal. The throw by Langford way up the line, eluded Hernandez. That enabled Burkett to get down to second, so there should be an error charge there because Burkett was not tagging.
Well, you can't. He's not going to throw him out anyway to gun the ball this far off. But the guy that should get some of the blame here is Darryl Kile. Once that ball goes into the outfield, your job is to get behind home plate and position yourself where you can be in line for any overthrow. He was directly behind here. Nobody was throwing from center or right.
So charge Langford with an error, enabling Burkett to advance. First pitch to Suroff, another pop fly, shallow left field. Langford coming in for this one, makes the catch. 2 men gone. 2-0 Atlanta now. The RBI by Furcal was his 26th. And here's Chipper Jones, who grounded out. A ball hit up the middle and hit hard. Deflected off Kile's glove right over to Vigna, who threw out Chipper. Off the fists, 0-1. One and one, the count to Chipper Jones. Now the 1-1 on the way. Another ground ball. This one to the right side. Kind of a funny hop, but Clark stays with it. And that's out number 3 in the bottom of the third. But the lower third of the order gets it going for Atlanta today. 2 runs are home. And at the end of 3, it's 2-0 Braves.
Tried to stick around and watch this after we got it underway. At the end of 3, it's 2-0 Braves. And Phil Simmons, our information guru, turned over the reins today to Jerry Krause, one of our camera people, who has come up with this Aflac trivia question. Who are the only 2 players in Major League history with 100 hits from both sides of the plate in the same season?
Ooh, good one.
It is good. So Jerry, who usually mans the pit down near the visiting dugout. There you are. It's our resident Snoop down there, too.
He also dresses up ducks.
Yes, he does.
When it rains.
And I'll tell you what, there may be a future there, because I have never seen a better dressed duck than the ones we had during the rain. I mean,
see, there he is.
That was perfect. There may be a duck boutique in your future.
Top of the order due up for the Cardinals here in the 4th inning. Fernando Vigna, J.D. Drew, and Jim Edmonds. John Burkett's been perfect through 3. He still has a warm-up toss or 2 to go. He was out of the base paths when the bottom half of the 3rd ended.
It's exhausting driving in runs. I mean, you got to give him a few extra seconds.
And now Vigna will lead off the 4th. He flying to left his first time up. Braves done a pretty good job quieting his bat down. He's 3 for 16 now in the series and has fallen below 300. And Javi Lopez out, probably to find out from Burkett, do you want to do things any differently second time through the batting order? And he probably does, because that's the way he pitches.
Right. And I don't think if you're Javi, you could go back there and say, I have a plan, because Burkett might change his plan right in the middle of a pitch. All hitters and pitchers have something that they do to get them ready. Vigna takes a little while to get ready. Javi Lopez was out there a long time. Some hitters start their routine after the catcher comes back. Why couldn't you get part of it out of the way while the catcher's out there?
Ball 1 to Vigna.
Part of your pre-shot rhythm, I guess.
Off speed and right through there for a strike. 1-1. Well, there's the first base runner of the day for St. Louis. Vigna hit by a Burkett pitch.
And that's nothing new. Usually, though, he's able to kind of turn into it and take a glancing blow. He may have turned in and taken that one right on his wallet. Cut fastball coming in. No, that was even worse. That's on the right hamstring.
24th time this year that Vigna has been hit by a pitch. That's the major league leader right now in that category. That's a nice category to lead the major leagues in. Huh? Here's J.D. Drew, grounded out to third his first time, bunting, and a good bunt down the third base side. Chipper's going to have to hurry here. Gets it over to first, and just in time. Good play, Chipper Jones.
Boy, he's made 3 or 4 in this series. Really good bare hand pickups, throw on the run. That's the only chance you have, so you're not going to get him if you don't try it. But to grab it, throw off balance, throw on the run, and get out of Speedy Drew.
He wasn't playing way in. He was playing about even with the bag. They weren't sure if Drew would be bunting or not down by 2 runs.
You were talking about Villa getting hit. I guess the only guy that I can remember who was proud of the fact he knew how to get hit was Ron Hunt.
He used to wear that big baggy uniform.
Oh, he was proud of it.
Here's Edmonds, who struck out his first time up, taking ball 1. One and one.
He looks like he goes out and tries to get Burkett's fastball. It's got a little cut on it, and it comes right in on the hands. It's not the velocity that gets him. It must be the movement, because they're throwing him up and just trying to stay on his hands.
Off the end of the bat, slowly toward short. Weiss charges, fields, gets the throw away, and gets it over to first in time. That's another nice defensive play. Getting to the ball is not the big problem here, is getting that throw on to first. But Walt has that short arm throw that he's able to make.
You got to look at that. We got to look at that again, and I want you to see how quickly it goes. Glove, hand, and on the way to first. Glove, hand, gone. He threw to first as though he were turning a double play. That's the same movement you see out of a shortstop and a second baseman on the double play.
Runner at third with 2 outs now for Will Clark. Grounded out to first in the second. We're in the top of the 4th with the Braves up 2-0. There's your runner at third, Fernando Vina. Clark fouls that one away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Clark looked like he was trying to turn it up a notch and pull against Kevin Millwood, but he's had 2 at-bats here against Burkett where he looks like he's trying to wait, and hit it to left field.
Burkett, not an overpowering type of pitcher. He's only going to top out at about 85, 86 on his fastball. And then he'll throw some breaking pitches and some changeups that are in the mid-70s.
But everything moves.
Two and one. And Sunshine returns to Turner Field.
I would have given you long odds that we were not going to see the sunshine until tomorrow, maybe.
The 2-1. Inside corner with a breaking ball. He had Clark looking away there. 2-2.
That may have been a gravity ball. Curveball that he just spun out there and let gravity bring it into the strike zone.
3-2 now on Clark with Craig Paquette waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2. Missed outside. That's one of those walks, though, with a hot hitter like Clark, you really don't mind. You've got a base open. He's been the hottest guy in their lineup. He's hitting .600 in his career against Burkett.
But you
don't give in to him.
No, and you know Burkett knows that. If he was going to chase something, it was going to be out of the strike zone.
Now Paquette, who grounded out to second his first time. Miles away, the first one. 0-1. After all the rain that fell all day long, the new technology of athletic fields, remarkable. Not a puddle, not a Might be a little still damp in the outfield,
But it does.
you would never know it had rained by looking at the field.
Actually, Ed Bangan and his crew were wetting down the infield area, especially around home plate and the mound, to keep some of the dust from blowing.
Remember in the old days, the old stadiums, rain like that, you would have no chance of playing. Take a day for the puddles to evaporate.
Yeah, you might not even play tomorrow.
Nothing in 2 on Paquette with 2 outs.
Some of the old ballparks, I can remember rain like that in Tiger Stadium, and Jerry's duck would have been floating from the field into the dugout. We had some guys there once get stranded in the dugout and couldn't get back to the locker room because the tunnel to the locker room flooded.
This will be a tough play. Burkett, can he make it? Nope. Paquette is safe at first. Pena scores. First hit allowed by Burkett. And it was a little dribbler that couldn't have traveled more than about 35 feet.
And that, you're going to see this is a bang play. Burkett is the only guy with a shot. His momentum carried him toward first, but makes a good bare hand pickup and a quick throw. Quick throw. Look how close this is. Ooh.
Very close. 45th RBI of the year for Paquette. It's a 2-1 Braves lead now. First and second for Ray Langford, who struck out his first time up.
That's one of those calls at first that one dugout or the other was going to be unhappy, and it was a call that probably could have gone either way. But if you call him out, you're going to have the Cardinals upset. If you call him safe, you have the Braves upset.
Heck of a way to give up your first hit, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Langford.
But I think against a guy like Burkett, you see that happen a lot with check swings and into the bat. The fact that he changes speed so much and relies on movement, you see a lot of first hits off of him are swinging bunts or into the bat.
1-2 now.
A lot of hits off of him resembled the one that he got off of Kile.
Now the 1-2 pitch to Langford off the fists. Little pop to the left side. Chipper Jones is there. And that takes care of the Cardinals in the 4th inning. They do get on the board on the infield hit by Craig Paquette. We head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. 2-1 Atlanta.
4th 2-1 Braves. Time for a reminder of our Aflac trivia question. The only 2 players in Major League history with 100 hits from both sides of the plate in the same season. Did you remember that they were Gary Templeton and Willie Wilson back-to-back years? Templeton with the Cardinals, 100 right-handed hits, 111 left-handed hits, and then the following year Willie Wilson with the Royals, 100 right-handed hits, 130 from the left side. That's our Aflac trivia question. Nice going, Jerry.
Here's Wally Joyner taking a strike. He grounded out to short his first time up. 2-1 Braves on top. 4 hits for Atlanta, 1 for the Cardinals. Nothing in 2 now on Joyner. There's that breaking ball from Darryl Kile.
And that's his best one. That's the one he throws just a little bit harder, even dropped down a little bit. Kyle can change speeds on it. Hernandez wanted it down and away. That's the hard curveball. Late break in a good spot.
First strikeout of the game for Kyle. That'll bring up Javi Lopez. He grounded out to second his first time up. Javi up in the 5 spot today.
And there's that lack of success you were talking about against Kile. And again, chasing a pitch out of the strike zone this time.
Polanco throws him out. 4 for 35 now. 2 men gone. Brian Jordan will be the hitter. He grounded out to third his first time. One ball, no strikes on Jordan.
About the same ratio. Both keeping the ball down in the strike zone. Good changeup.
His pitches have been better this inning than in any of the previous 3. Better command. There's another breaking ball for a strike. The way he throws, though, he's got such that little short arm delivery of his release point's got to be very important in his delivery.
Yes, it does, because he
Especially on
doesn't
that
have a
breaking
whole
ball.
lot of margin of error, and he does a lot of work.
Dropped down there a little bit. Missed inside 2-2.
He does a lot of work with his elbow on his curveball. You have to throw it short like that. It's not a shoulder pitch. It's more of an elbow pitch.
Now the 2-2.
It looks like he throws one that just starts and just keeps coming and coming and coming. A big boomerang type curveball, and then he has that crisp one like he threw Wally Joyner for the strikeout. Shortens the break, increases the speed.
Second strikeout of the inning and of the game for Kile as the Braves go 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Still 2-1 Atlanta. There's your score. Braves with 4 hits, the Cardinals with 1. In the 5th inning, the lower third of the order, beginning with Carlos Hernandez, who grounded out to short his first time up. Ball 1 to the Cardinal catcher. Came over from San Diego.
It's going to be interesting to see if he's back here next year or where he might end up next year. I think that there are a number of ball clubs trying to accomplish something that Hernandez could be a big part of. And one of them is the Florida Marlins.
Let's see, he's 33 now.
But he's widely respected for his catching ability, his ability to walk a pitcher through a ball game, and he's no slouch as a hitter.
1-2. .252, not a power hitter, but all the things that he does for you defensively, .252 is fine. 2-2. Polanco waiting on deck.
He also may be the only guy who's missing out of who's who in baseball, too.
How'd they leave him out?
I don't know.
It's full 3-2.
I went through it 2 or 3 times this morning looking for him. He should be between Chad
What
Hermanson.
happened? Wait. What happened to Carlos Hernandez?
Uh-oh.
Ball 4, and as soon as he walked
He took
out
a
of the
step.
as soon as he
Oh, he's
walked out of the
locked up.
batter's box, he couldn't move.
I don't know if it's back. Something happened.
He got about a step and a half out of the batter's box toward first base on ball 4 and just stopped. That is a weird injury.
We've seen guys take off running and then grab or fall, but never a walk. Watch how far he goes. Checks, flips and then stop. That looks like a back injury. One step. He actually didn't even complete the step before it got him.
That's the first time I've ever seen anyone injured on ball 4 during a walk.
They're going to have to help him in.
He is really having a tough time. Look at the perspiration.
Oh, and that's happened right now. That's happened since this injury. We'll find out as quickly as we can for you, but it looked like a lower back, like it just locked up on him with the first step.
So one of the stranger injuries you will ever see on ball 4. Carlos Hernandez got one step toward first base.
Did you see the little hitch, Pete, when he took that? The little hitch, and then he leaned forward. Here, there'll be a little hitch as he takes it. There. Like the lower part of his body went back, the upper part of his body leaned forward toward the strike or toward the pitch, and then after that it was a lockup.
So Britt Reams will come on to pitch run. He was the starting pitcher here on Friday. And Mike Matheny will no doubt come on to catch. What a strange injury.
Never seen that before.
Second walk issued by Burkett. And here's Polanco, who grounded out to second his first time up.
You know, I've seen a golfer take a practice swing and then just freeze like that, but there was no swing involved.
No swing at all. The 0-1 looped into right field by Polanco. That'll fall for a base hit. Reams rounding second, heads for third. And the Cardinals in business. Runners first and third. Only the second hit allowed by Burkett. And it'll bring up the pitcher, Darryl Kile.
The base running by Reams obviously got a lot of speed off the end of the bat. Didn't hesitate when he sees where the ball is headed. Realizes Jordan has no shot at it. Made it all the way around to third easily. Yep, that's safe. Let's go. Showed some speed between second and third.
So now Kile with runners first and third, probably up there to trying to bunt the first base runner down to second.
If that's the case, he'll show bunt early so as not to get one up and in like he's squeezing it. He does show it early.
0-1. He has 5 sacrifices this year.
Defensive signals being called out from Bobby Cox. I don't know if he wants to pitch out or what he wants him to do.
Gets the bunt down, but foul. It's 0-2. Jose Oquendo. Outstanding defensive infielder when he played and got better as he went along as a hitter. Finished with a .256 career average. Now the third base coach for the Cardinals. Just off the corner, 1-2.
A lot of clubs let a pitcher swing away when he gets 2 strikes on him. I still think for the best interest of your offense, you're better off having him continue to bunt. A lot of times if you swing away, you'll see a lot of pitchers hit into double plays in this kind of situation. So if you bunt, that chance of that happening are not likely.
Well, Kyle couldn't get that one down in fair territory either. That's a strikeout. 4th of the game for Burkett. And a big first out here in the 5th inning, and now back to the top of the order, and Fernando Vina fly to left and was hit by a pitch. You'd like a double play here, but Vina very tough to double up. He's only grounded into 4 double plays all year in 425 at bats.
Normally good with runners in scoring position, only 250, but he hit up over 350 for Milwaukee.
1 ball, no strikes.
Actually, it was closer to 390 one year than it was to 350. He's just a tough guy to strike out, too. Puts the ball in play.
2-0 on Vina.
Every at bat's an animated at bat for him, isn't it? A lot of stuff going on before he gets in, and he watches the ball when it goes away from him, almost steps over the plate. He's not one to just sit back on his heels and try to put it in play.
Well, let's see if they can get 2 here. The second one for Kile to first. Got him. Only the 5th double play grounded into by Fernando Vina all year. And he's still down after tripping over the bag at first, getting up slowly.
He may have hit Wally Joyner's foot, Pete.
But Burkett is out of the inning, hitting Vina to hit into that inning ender.
Still 2-1 Atlanta. I never thought they'd get that double play, Joe, but they did.
I thought it was hit too slowly, Skip, and quite a tumble on the end of it from Fernando Vina. Cardinals had already lost their catcher to weird circumstances when I don't know what happened. Perhaps his back locked up on Hernandez, but he's out of the ball game, and then Vina took that big tumble. He's got more chalk on him right now than the base path. We'll give you a report on Hernandez as soon as we have it. Meanwhile, Mike Matheny checks into the ball game.
It's a heck of a note when you get hurt on a walk. Reggie Sanders leads things off here. He is batting 1,000 as a center fielder this year. 1 ball, no strikes.
Boy, that's a nice curved ball. Great rotation, big spin. You know, throws it right at those right-handed hitters too to make them freeze just a bit.
Swinging bunt. He's 2 out of 2 as a center fielder for the year. Don't worry, Andrew. I think you'll get your job back whenever you want it.
He's getting some grief from somebody in the dugout. Reggie is. Darryl Kile made this pretty close. The throw pulls Will Clark off the bag, as you can see, but watch Kile. He doesn't even square his body up. He just picked it up and shoveled it down there. Nice play by Will to save an extra base.
He got up pretty good for a man of his years.
Fountain of youth in St. Louis for him.
Boy, that's for sure. Here's Walt Weiss. Runner going, swung, line, left center field. It's going to get down for a hit. They'll be on the corners with nobody out.
Walt Weiss has been on a tear too, and he's been in the lineup. 7 for his last 12. He's already got a double today, and now with Reggie running, slices one into left center. And Weiss and Sanders having a pretty good 1-2 punch today down in the bottom of the order.
Here's John Burkett, who ripped a vicious single into right field his first time.
That's exactly right. It did reach right field because the grass counts. Yeah.
He's going to bunt. Takes high. 1 ball, no strikes.
Interesting. This is the same situation as the top half of the inning. Kyle was very mad at himself for his inability to get the bunt down, and that led to the double play that ended the inning and cost him a run.
Craig Paquette in at third. Clark charges from first. 1-1 the count. Alexander Mann celebrating his 10th birthday today, watching Braves baseball. Whole family wants to wish him many happy returns, as do we. He shows bunt. I'll be darned, it didn't work again.
You have to be careful here if you're Paquette not to charge too quick, because if you do, third base runner comes with you and he might score on any throw to first.
Right off his foot. 1-2. Great speed at third base, good speed at first. Not a whole lot of speed in the batter's box for Atlanta.
No, when you can hit a gapper like John did against the Cardinals in St. Louis,
yeah,
you kind of glide.
1-2 the count. Shows bunt. Does bunt. Good one. Now he can glide on back to the dugout.
Nice job.
1-4 sacrifice. So the Braves succeed with the sacrifice bunt. And here's Rafael for call.
Bobby Cox is not one of those guys that you picture as a real. He's not real big into high fives, you know, going through slapping everybody. But when you do something like that, especially with 2 strikes, you saw right there John Burkett getting a high five from his manager. Good fundamental job with 2 strikes.
Terrence Moore had a nice story about Bobby in the paper today.
Sure did.
About how popular he is with his players.
You know what I liked about the story most of all was that Terrence admitted that, you know, he's been quick to jump on Bobby at times about failures of the Braves in October to not win championships. He said I've never talked to a player that has played for Bobby that didn't like him.
Well, you did your radio interview with Al Roboski today, the former Braves pitcher, and he was talking about apologizing to Bobby because when he was here he was so frustrated that he'd lost his fastball and he couldn't be as big a help as he wanted to be.
Yeah, and apologized for the way he acted too.
Yeah.
That he wasn't exactly the most professional of players that Bobby had at that time. He said I didn't appreciate what a really good baseball man Bobby is until I got away from him.
That hurts. For Cal out on strikes. Now there are 2 out in the inning. Strikeout number 3.
What hurts is that they were willing to concede a run. They were going to give up a run for an out, and all Rafi needed to do is put the ball in play, but Darryl Kile with a good pitch fastball up above his hands and he couldn't catch up to it.
That's that. The Braves had a chance to score, couldn't get it done. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left. We've played 5, and it's 2-1 Atlanta.
This afternoon's Budweiser game summary as we go to the 6th inning. Braves got a couple of runs in the 3rd inning. First run scoring on a John Burkett RBI single to the outfield, his first since 1996. He got off to a good start, but then hit a batter. Vigna leading off the 4th inning. He eventually scored on a swinging bunt hit by Paquette. Started the game with after a 2-hour and 32-minute rain delay. That's why we're only in the 6th inning, but another good ball game between these 2 teams. Right at the end of the inning, we got a glimpse of Rafael Furcal, who was in the dugout after he struck out with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Started for the end of the dugout, but oh, hold on there a minute. Merv Retman I know Rafael turned 20 last week. He's no longer a teenager, but still gets a little advice once in a while due to his inexperience. Nothing wrong with that.
We go to the 6th inning, top of the St. Louis order. Actually, the number 2 hitter, J.D. Drew. Out in front on a change. He's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Mets already won their game 2-1 over Arizona. The Braves lead here by an identical 2-1 score. Lonnie Armani Dale is our director today. I think it's his last game with us. It's Lonnie's last home game. He's going to be in Montreal with us. He's an international traveler anyway. He heads for Japan after this to talk about. Are you directing basketball or in a meeting about basketball, Lonnie? Three-two pitch. That was a pitiful looking swing. 1 out.
Good pitch down and in.
5 for Burkett.
The Braves have handled J.D. Drew pretty well for most of the year. He's had a good series though, and good pitch by Burkett makes him look bad here leading off the 6th.
1 away. Here's Jim Edmonds.
Lonnie likes to go to Montreal. Nice clothing stores up there.
Lonnie's headed for Japan, and he doesn't eat fish. It's going to be a little rough. Although they got that Kobe beef over there, it's only about fillet is only about $250. No problem for Lonnie with his money.
I think he's going to take some freeze-dried beans with him and some power balls, power bars, and kind of mix them together.
The 2-1 pitch. Popped up foul, third base side. Chipper comes over. He's got room. 2 down.
Jim Edmonds, after getting off to a good start in this series, 0 for his last 12.
Here's Clark. Glenn's down there sulking because we haven't mentioned his name. Glenn Diamond is our producer.
Did you notice last night when we were showing everyone the new truck?
Yes.
How Glenn had requested a bigger chair than anyone else. It sits up a little higher.
The throne.
It is. Well, he wanted a throne. He didn't get that, but he did get a big chair.
How much that new truck cost, Glenn? $6,438,000.
Is that your assessment? Is that what it looked like to you?
Yeah. The 2-1 pitch. A little low. 3 balls and a strike.
Lonnie has a good time when he goes up to Montreal because of the exchange rate on the dollar. It's also good because he can exchange wool for polyester.
The 3-1 pitch. Right through there. So a payoff pitch to the Cardinal first baseman.
John Burkett's numbers as a starter so much better than out of the bullpen this year. He came into this game 7-3 when he's been in the rotation, and this is his 17th start.
Well, you know, that's what they say, that Bobby Cox is one of the most patient guys around. And here's a case where it really paid off. 3-2 pitch. Drilled to center. Back goes Sanders on the track. He's got room, and the inning is over. One, two, three, nothing doing. Boy, it looks funny to look out there and not see Andrew. We go to the bottom of the sixth. 2-1 Atlanta.
One as we go to the bottom half of the sixth inning. Log on to tbssuperstation.com or AOL keyword Brave Super Tour for your chance to win up to $1 million, sit in Ted's box, or receive a Phillips DVD player. Correctly answer a question about every Braves game on TBS through September 9th to increase your chances of winning the grand prize. Hello to you, young man.
John Burkett's day would appear to be over. Chipper skies one into left. That'll be easy. Langford puts it away, one down.
Was Burkett headed for the tunnel?
That's the way it appeared.
He's thrown 87 pitches. Gave up only the one run in the fourth inning, but there's Kerry Lightberg.
Wally Joyner is the batter. He has grounded out and struck out. And takes a strike, 0-1. Darryl Kile again ready to go to work. Misses outside with a fastball. It's 1-1. Did you get your Oreo plush toy today, Joe?
No, I haven't seen one. Or rather, I did see one, but I haven't nailed one down yet.
I haven't either.
I mean, I gotta have one if it's called Cookie Man.
I got to get one for my granddaughter Grace.
There's one.
There's two. There's three. Okay, Lonnie, okay. The pitch. Hit hard to first. 2 out. Here's Javi. He has grounded to second, grounded to short. Caller on the talk show today asked me about when the playoff tickets went on sale. I don't know. Do you, Joe? Have they announced anything yet?
No, not to my knowledge.
High pop. Will Clark comes over. That didn't take long. 1-2-3, nothing doing at the end of 6. 2-1 Atlanta. We go to the 7th inning here. Kerry Lightberg on to pitch.
Kerry didn't get that much time to warm up in the bullpen. That inning went so fast. And Paul Bacco came out and said something to him as he was approaching the mound, and it could be that the Braves were holding Javi Lopez back in the dugout a little bit longer so as to give Kerry a little time to warm up. I'm not sure what Javi's doing, but stalling would be a good name for it, to give Lightberg that extra time that he didn't get down in the bullpen. Smart.
Craig Paquette scheduled to lead things off. Burkett went 6 innings, 2 hits, a run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, a hit batsman. He did his job again. Paquette, Langford, and Matheny, the first 3 for the Cardinals.
Speaking of Matheny, we tried to find out if there's any word on Carlos Hernandez. Nothing yet up to the press box as far as the extent of his injury.
That was a strange one. Paquette is 1 for 2, an infield single that drove home the only Cardinal run of the day. It's been a very fast game. The 2-hour 32-minute rain delay makes it a long day at the ballpark, but Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. From here, by the way, the Cardinals go to Florida, where they don't think they'll play at all. 3 days of rain are in the forecast down there because of the hurricane. 1-1 the count.
They had a long rain delay last night in the middle of their game with Cincinnati that the Reds finally won.
They've won 3 in a row. And the two teams are tied 1-1 in the 4th down there this afternoon.
Carey picked up a save and the only Braves win of this series so far 2 nights ago.
That takes care of Paquette. 1 down.
He had a couple of strikeouts in the 9th inning of that game, including Paquette.
Langford digs in.
Do you think the Reds can make a run at the Cardinals before it's all over? 7.5 difference coming into play today.
Well, I don't know. I don't, because I think the Cardinals pitching is good enough that it'll hold them off.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll avoid any long losing streaks. But 2 or 3 times Cincinnati's had the lead down to 4 and then can't get it any lower than that. Then they go into a little slide themselves, and usually when they're playing at home, when the Reds are at home.
And then they get rid of a key player, you think, like a Denny Nagel, and then they play a little bit better, as if no matter what the front office does to break the team up, they're going to try to stay in contention. It's a strange situation. A lot of that going on in baseball today, though. 1-2 the count.
And they only have 3 games left with one another in St. Louis, last 3 games of the season.
That's good for the Cardinals.
Yes, it is. It's interesting. The Cardinals, after they finish up with the Braves, Marlins, Mets, and Expos by September 8th, they start play within their own division and play everybody in their own division except a 1 3-game set with San Diego plugged in there in the middle. So and it's a road trip. They go to Chicago and San Diego before coming home to finish up the season. That's a weird one.
He had him 0-2 and he lost him. Marijuana hasn't been legalized yet, has it?
No, it hasn't. That's the first time you've asked me, though, in 9 years.
I was just thinking if that might have been the schedule maker's problem, but I guess not. Here's Matheny. Reggie is out of sight in center field. He plays a little deeper than Andrew does.
One of the reasons he was camped under that 400-foot drive by Will Clark last inning.
1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, that's a little deeper than normal from where you normally see Andrew camped out. Matheny had a good night last night. He reached 3 times, twice on doubles, once on an error, scored a run, drove in a run.
The 1-0 pitch. Instead of first, runner back. Mentioned earlier that Glenn Diamond was producing this game, but I've just found out that you and I are, Joe. The pitch, swung and missed, snap throw to first, just got back. Brian Jordan not playing too deep in right field. Close again.
Langford slipped a little bit as he was going back to the bag, so he's going to clean that up a little bit before he takes another lead. A lot of drying agent on the field after the rain delay. Not that the field wasn't covered, it was, but just to soak up some of the moisture from the steam under the tarp.
Downstairs. 2 balls and a strike.
I guess you'd call that condensation, wouldn't you? Moisture coming up out of the ground.
Yes, you would.
A little dew.
Or you could call it moisture coming up out of the ground. 2 balls and a strike. Carey again ready. Runner goes low. Safe.
Good throw by Hobby. Good release. Put it in a perfect spot, but the base was swiped on Kerry Lightenberg. Several steps for Langford before the release of pitch.
It's only his 5th stolen base of the year. That seems hard to believe.
Yeah, his 2nd of this series. Almost looked like he came up off the bag on that slide too, and Walt still had the tag on him. That pop-up, almost a pop-up off the bag. Watch him as he hits the bag. Watch his left foot, see if it comes up. It sure does. He cleared the base. Take another look here. Watch Walt. He's going to have the tag still on him. And his foot's going to come up off the base. He's out. Langford lucky there.
Rick Reed didn't see it. He's the 2nd base umpire. Payoff pitch. He walked it. So 2 are on with 1 out. A couple of walks here. Carey has walked as many in a 1/3 of an inning as Burkett did in 6.
Yeah, we showed you some numbers a minute ago from Carey since July 4th, and to me that was about the time where I think he began to feel like his arm was okay and ready to cut it loose, and that's when he really began to put up some good numbers and shut some teams down.
He's in a little bit of a trouble spot here. 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Placido. Polanco, the batter. Strike called. 0-1. Mike Remlinger in the Atlanta bullpen. The lights are on here, by the way, though a bright sun is shining. Lined into left center field. That's in for a hit, and it's rolling deep. 1 is in. Another man racing around 3rd. The throw to the plate will be late, and the Cardinals have the lead. Polanco, a 2-run double into the left center field alley. And the 2 walks come home to roost.
Yeah, they've got the lead, and they've done it on only 3 hits today, but only 1 this inning, and it was a big one by Polanco. He splits the outfielders, and I thought when it hit, because of the wet turf from the rain, it might just bite out there and not allow Matheny to score, but instead it rolls all the way to the wall and no chance on the relay to get him.
And a runner in scoring position here. Kile comes up empty. 0-1.
Polanco's done a great job for them in this series, not to mention all year long. But he had a pinch hit. Well, it wasn't a pinch hit. He'd come into the game defensively, but had a double last night in his only plate appearance for an RBI.
There's a strike. 0-2. Fernando Vina on deck. Kile's out of there. Vigna, the batter, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And Bobby Cox is going to do a little double switchery here.
Now Galarraga is going to go in for Joyner, and Remlinger will bat in the cleanup spot.
As Atlanta Braves manager Bobby Cox makes the Bell South call to the bullpen. Not a good day for Terry Lightenberg. Cardinals have taken the lead. Dale Murphy and Ted Turner recently made a grand entrance into the Braves Hall of Fame. Get complete coverage and exclusive photos of this memorable event in the September Chop Talk. There's the phone number, 1-800-700-CHOP. Official monthly magazine of the Braves. Lightenberg went 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, 2 walks, struck out 2. He surrendered 2 runs. The runner at second is his responsibility, and Mike Remlinger gets the call for St. Louis, and Galarraga, not for St. Louis, for Atlanta. Galarraga's at first and Remlinger on the mound.
Galarraga bats in the 9th spot. That'll be 4th up in the bottom of the 7th. This is Remlinger's first appearance in this series.
Vigna stands in against the lefty. Runner at second, 2 out. Fouled away, 0-1. Pretty good speed out there at second base with Polanco, too.
That was a great double play the Braves turned back in the 5th inning. 1st and 3rd one out. Weiss and Furcal turned it to get Vigna. Saved a run.
Base hit up the middle. Another run will score. Boy, that hurts. It's 4-2.
Left-hander comes in to pitch to left-hander. Doesn't make a whole lot of difference to Vigna, but the breaking ball, I believe, is what was left up. Threw it at him, and then it just stayed out over the plate. When you throw a curveball at the hitter, boy, you've got to make sure you get it down. That didn't happen, and he was able to adjust to it and fight it off.
They just made an announcement on Carlos Hernandez. A lower back strain. And they're going to send him back to St. Louis to be evaluated by team doctors. I hope he can get on the plane.
Right. If he was hurting that bad, I hate the thought of him sitting on a plane for a couple of hours.
It is a short trip, but Drew's in the hole, 0-2.
It's one of the rare times you'll see Remlinger come in and not only give up an inherited run, but give up a base hit to the first batter he faces.
The 0-2 pitch. High and inside. Tell you what, not only is Vigna a fine player, but he's got that mustache thing and beard thing really working. Look at that. That's the way it's supposed to be. Foul to the screen. Still 1-2. Javi with the sign. And the 1-2 pitch to first, runner back. Now, for a while they worried about that catcher's box and all that stuff. I defy you to find out where the catcher's box is in this game. Ground ball to second, should be out of the inning. That's it, but not before. 3-run score on 2 hits, 1 left. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Cardinals 4, Braves 2.
Cardinals are on top now as we complete the 7th inning stretch here at Turner Field. Wednesday on TBS, a motorcycle bad boy, a man who lives in a bulldozer, no, not Skip, and kayaking over a 10-story waterfall. Don't miss an all-new episode of Ripley's Believe It or Not at 8:05 Eastern Time, only on the Superstation.
What day is that?
That's Wednesday.
Oh, boy. We have a game, too.
Motorcycle bad boy. I'm trying to figure out if that's you or if it's about the guy who lives in a bulldozer.
I think it's the latter. Brian Jordan leads things off here in the bottom of the 7th. And fouls one off, 0-1. The way things look in this series, we don't play well after rain delays. The wind, the pitch. Downstairs. And it's even now, 1-1.
A little tougher on the hitters right now, too, although the Cardinals didn't have any trouble in the top of the inning. That shadow moving across the infield.
2 balls and a strike. Need a base runner to bring a potential tying run to the plate. Jordan has bounced out and struck out. And lined one to right, but right at him. Drew has it, 1 away.
Oh, he got a good jump on that line drive.
Yeah, he's a sure-handed outfielder. He sure is. Here's Reggie, 2 out of 2.
It's too bad Bryden couldn't get on because Reggie hasn't made an out all year long while playing center field.
That's correct. Walt Weiss on deck. White Sox lead Seattle 1-0 in the 4th inning. Cubs bat in the bottom of the 9th, 6-6 with the Dodgers.
Boy, how about that game? Giants and Phillies. Went 10 innings. Phillies beat the Giants for the 2nd day in a row. 2-1 was the score today, and Bob Abreu accounted for both runs with home runs, including the game winner in the bottom of the 10th.
And Bruce Chen pitched 8 good innings, though he was not involved in the decision.
I have all the scores for you next inning.
On the Delta scoreboard?
That's correct.
Two and 2 the count. Reggie hasn't had a 2-hit game since July 20th, but in fairness, he's been on the disabled list some of that time, and there have been a lot of games in which he has not participated. Still 2 and 2. Cincinnati comes to town tomorrow. First of a 4-game series.
Getting back to what we were talking about earlier, I don't think the Reds can catch them either, barring a complete collapse by the Cardinal team.
Sidearm got him looking, 2 down. So now Reggie's hitting .667 for the year as a center fielder.
4th strikeout of the day for Darryl Kile. He's dropped down on a couple of other hitters, but that's the first time he's thrown that pitch for a strike, and it was a good one.
Walt Weiss 2 for 2, a double and a single. He has scored a run. Little toppered on the first base line. Kile makes the play himself. Did he get him? Yes, he did. And the inning is over. 1 unassisted at the end of 7. 4-2 Cardinals.
Here's that Delta scoreboard we promised you. Cardinals on top of this one, 4-2. The Mets beat Arizona 2-1. Mike Hampton returned to the rotation. He worked 8 strong innings. Vinny Agbayani had a home run. 2-1 Mets over Arizona. Houston beat Montreal 7-3. That's a little payback after blowing a game yesterday. Alou and Eusebio had home runs, and Eusebio's hitting 23 straight now. Philadelphia, there's their win over San Francisco. Colorado beat Pittsburgh 9-2. Husky, Helton, and Hammonds with home runs. San Diego beat Milwaukee 2-1. Woody Williams the winner there. Trevor Hoffman his 35th save. Dodgers and Cubs tied going to the 10th. And you can also check out the American League scores here on the Delta scoreboard as we go to the 8th.
Jim Edmonds looks at a strike. 0-1. Skies one down the left field line, but foul. All these little Oreo guys are sticking their tongue out, Joe.
They're happy guys.
They are happy. 1-2 now the count. Braves have 6 more outs to figure out a way to get at least 2 runs. 2 to tie, 3 to take the lead.
Since that big night, the opening game of the series where Edmonds got a couple of home runs, he's 0 for his last 12, and that includes 5 strikeouts and a double play hit into.
It's funny how guys can be so hot, and then the same hitter against the same pitchers can be absolutely helpless. 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
But he came in and he still is struggling for the month of August. He's getting his home runs, but he was hitting 195 for the month coming in.
And they can ill afford that with McGuire absent.
Pretty good pitch.
3-2 the count. It was 0-2. 4-2 St. Louis in the 8th. Will Clark lurks on deck. Got him. Another strikeout for Edmonds. Second of the day.
First for Mike Remlinger. Target set up away. Good fastball in a good spot. Couldn't catch up. Out away from him. See how Remlinger pitches this left-hander. Tried to throw those breaking balls to Vigna, but was very successful to Drew and Edmonds with fastballs. Ow, never mind.
Runner at first, 1 out.
They got Vigna earlier right in the back pocket. Will took this one in the hip. Almost caught it. That didn't feel very good.
We were talking about Al Raboski earlier, the former Brave reliever. He got into a thing with Reggie Jackson in Florida one time, spring training, and he threw at him right for his rib cage, and Reggie just caught the ball and rolled it back as if you can't throw hard enough to hurt me. I think Al began thinking about retirement just about that time. Paquette 1 for 3. 1-1 the count. 1-2. Looked a little low. Might have been a break for Atlanta. Ray Langford on deck. Down the right field line, base hit. Runner racing for third. Here comes the throw. He is safe. The throw gets away. The other runner moves to second.
Throw hit Clark. Otherwise, he's probably out. Good strong throw by Brian Jordan. But that attempt also gave up a base to Paquette. Greg Paquette took a little time off from the minor leagues last year in the Cardinal organization to play in the Pan American games. And came back with a vengeance. And he definitely had a shot at Clark, and the throw off of him caroms over to the dugout. And again, those screens save an error.
Yeah, it's a single. Second on the throw. John Rocker goes to work in the bullpen. Ray Langford strikes out a lot, and Remlinger could use one of those right here. Mike Matheny on deck. 0-1. (4-2) St. Louis, and they threaten to get more here. Second and third, one out. Popped up. Will it stay in play? Hobby coming over. He's got room, and he's got it. So Langford fails. There are two out.
Big out right there.
Here's Matheny has walked on his only plate appearance. He walked and scored.
Got two right-handers coming up, Matheny and Polanco. And Polanco has proven today that he's been a tough out, in fact, this whole series. Not that Matheny has been an easy out. He hasn't been. But he didn't start this game, and maybe they can get him to chase a bad ball.
Plus, he doesn't have much running speed being a catcher. And that's always a factor, too. The stretch. The pitch. Foul to the screen, 0-1. Second and third, two out. The outfield shades him slightly toward right. Reggie Sanders plays him deep in center field, and he's hit a few balls to straightaway center field deep in this series.
Yes, he has hit a couple over Andrews' head.
He's in the hole, 0-2.
A couple of good pitches, though, out away from him. Matheny appears to like the ball out where he can extend his arms. He's looking middle of the plate away, and so far Remlinger's been able to get him to chase a couple of pitches that were borderline strikes.
Remlinger looks in. 1-2. Minnesota beat Detroit today 7-6. The 1-2. Swung late, but stayed alive.
Mike's been pretty successful in recent outings when he needs a strikeout to go upstairs with a fastball and get it above the hitter's hands. He did that to Helton out in Colorado in a key situation one night. I think he was trying to do that same thing to Matheny there, but the pitch was down a little bit and he was able to foul it off. Back-to-back pitches inside. Now they're going to go away again.
And base hit right field. One run is in. They got a shot at the plate. Here's the throw. Bad throw. He's safe. He just reached out and served that ball into right field. And all of a sudden it's 6-2 St. Louis.
What a piece of hitting by him. That ball was 4 or 5 inches outside, and he hit it in the right place. Or just throw that bad. Jordan's on the ball quickly.
Up the line.
Well, it was caught up the line when he started running up to get it, but that ball was tailing back to home plate. Brian stood and looked in for a minute like he was a little curious as to why Javi came up to get the ball.
Into the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. And they would have had a shot at second, but Javi lost the throw. So things not looking too good here.
Jordan's attempt to get Will Clark came into play there too, when it allowed that runner to get to second base and scored on the hit.
Into right center field. Jordan on the run. Can't get there. Another run is in. It's 7-2. He's around second. He'll hold up there with a double. I wonder why they pitched to him. It's 7-2.
Rays may be wondering the same thing right now. 2 doubles in as many innings for Polanco, and both have driven in runs, 3 altogether. Boy, they have really blown this one open the last 2 innings. Braves bullpen unable to hold them.
Here's Darryl Kile. 1 ball, no strikes. Scott Kamenicki now in the Atlanta bullpen. Kyle, by the way, has 3 complete games for the year. Cardinals have 7. He's got 3 of them. Stevenson has 3. Another runner at second. They're in scoring position all the time. 3 runs have scored. 2 balls and a strike.
In a related subject, complete games and shutouts as a staff. We've been talking about the Myrtle Beach Class A team for the Braves in the Carolina League. Last night they got a 1-hit complete game shutout from Christian Parra, who increased his record to 16-4. But as a team, their staff ERA is 2.44. They've thrown 26 shutouts. They've won both halves of their league.
Kyle is out of there, but not before 3-run score on 3 hits. There was a hit batsman thrown into the mix as well. 1 runner left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and it's now 7-2. Yeah. Mike Remlander. Well, he may pitch another inning. We'll have to wait and see. No use giving you his stance yet. Here's Galarraga batting for the first time in the game. But now the Braves really have their work cut out for them. They trail 7-2.
Well, Clark had an extended conversation there with Darryl Kile before this inning started. Maybe a little go-get-'em speech.
The wind, the pitch is a strike. It's 0-1.
Kyle has not had a good August. He's 1-3 with a 5 ERA. But only had really 1 bad inning, the 3rd today, and then pitched out of a 2nd and 3rd no-out jam in the 5th, not allowing a run.
Two balls and a strike. Walk would be nice.
These are pretty impressive.
Three and one.
One of the things that Will Clark may have suggested to him is the fact that he's got a 5-run lead. He has not walked anybody today. Don't start now. Don't give him a chance to get back in it.
3-2. Reds come to town tomorrow. 7:35 TB time. Maddox against Scott Williamson. Base hit right field. An inside out swing. So the cab is aboard, and for Kile, the batter.
Pretty good piece of hitting by Galarraga there. Just to get the inning started. Why don't you try to take this pitch to right field? Pulled his hands in a little bit, and as Skip said, a little inside out, almost like a hit and run swing.
For Kile is 1 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Low, 1 ball, no strikes. Base hit right field. Galarraga will stop at second. The Braves have something going here. Still nobody out, and Surhoff, Chipper Jones, and a pinch hitter, probably Bonilla, will bat.
Got Andrew Jones left over there too.
That's right.
When you have a guy like Surhoff go from the cleanup spot on Saturday night to the number 2 hole on Sunday afternoon.
He'd be a terrific number 2 hitter if you needed him there. Handles the bat well. Strike at the knees. Dave Beers up in the bullpen, hoping against hope that he doesn't have to come in and pitch to Chipper.
Right.
If you were with us last night, you know what I mean. Chipper hit a line drive back at Veers and caught it in self-defense, wound up sitting on the mound. Good breaking ball, 0-2.
It's not the same curveball every time. There's Veers and Jason Christensen left-handed. Kile throws that 12-6 curve over the top, uses it almost like a change-up at times, and then he'll bite one down and in on your shoot tops if you're a left-handed hitter occasionally too, and that's what Surhoff went after on that pitch.
0-2. Got him. Another breaking ball. Strikeout number 5 for Kile.
That looked like the slower one. Good pitch. DJ was trying to duck it a little bit to make it look high, but good call by Fichter. F-I-C-H-T-E-R, Mike Fichter.
Chipper 0 for 3 on the day. That makes him doubly dangerous. And it is Bonilla who moves on deck. Four strikes in a row from Kile.
This is what he did when he was in trouble back in the 5th inning. Runners in scoring position. Braves trying to add to their 2-1 lead at that point, and then he struck out for call and got Surhoff to pop up. He got the big strikeout when he needed it. J.D. Drew doing a little house cleaning out in deep right. Struck out Surhoff on 3 breaking balls. Let's see if he stays with the breaking ball to Chipper.
Matheny to the mound. Talk things over with his pitcher. Carlos Hernandez, a strained back. They're flying him back to St. Louis to be examined by a Cardinal doctor. Oh, and 2, the count to Chipper. 2 on, 1 out. Gets away. Runners to second and third. Wild pitch. That takes the double play away.
That's a big help. May not seem like a whole lot, but that's a big help because the base hit scores 2 instead of 1. They wanted to make sure they didn't make a mistake on the what appeared to be a slider down and in, and it wasn't a mistake in terms of Chipper hitting it, just in how much it was biting into the dirt.
There's 1 out here. The 1-2. Foul back. He was off stride but stayed alive.
Had a good swing at it, though. Looks like he was halfway looking for it, even though he's behind in the count. He was ready for that pitch. He was out on his front foot a little bit, but he kept his hands back.
Another one gets away, but Matheny blocks it, and it's 2-2.
They are not pitching around Chipper with first base open. They want outs.
Don't forget, Bonilla waits to hit next.
3 for his last 33 with runners in scoring position. That's not good.
Surprising is what that is. Ground ball foul.
Chipper appears to be looking for something to pull here. He went out around that pitch, and it was a breaking ball, which is understandable because he was fooled a little bit. And he's still trying to protect the plate, but he looks like he's really trying to go around everything to make sure he doesn't get jammed.
The 2-2, here it is. Inside out, line drive caught, safe at third. That was his 96th pitch of the game.
Well,
2 are up.
Matheny must have seen the same thing, Skip, because after that last pitch that he pulled foul, Matheny decided to go with a fastball in to try to jam him. If he's going to try to go out around everything by guarding the outside corner, maybe we can run a ball by him, and they did. They got it right in on his thumbs.
And now Matheny's out there discussing Bobby Bonilla with his pitcher. Bobby's had a very good year pinch hitting. 10 out of 25, a .400 average with 8 RBIs.
And generally, he's up there hacking away.
Runners at second and third, but now 2 out. Clark's got it. Pitcher covers. Inning over.
Nice play by Will Clark on a tough hop.
Give Kile some credit too. First 2 runners got on and they did not score. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left. We go to the 9th inning with the Braves trailing 7-2. Gabe Molina on to pitch for the Braves as we go to the 9th inning. Mike Remlinger an inning and a third, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit benchman. Molina has been in 1 game and things did not go well for him. He pitched an inning, gave up 2 earned runs on 1 hit, threw a home run ball. 7-2 St. Louis. The Braves half of the 9th inning finds Lopez, Jordan, and Sanders do.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't get any defensive help that 1 inning. Granted, he gave up a leadoff homer to Renteria, the first batter he faced. But then the Braves made 3 errors behind him in that 1 inning. And 2 on one play.
Which is enough to make you think, am I really in the major leagues? What's going on here?
He's got a good arm and he throws hard, but it'd be nice to see him have a good inning and get some confidence back.
You see Matheny and Kile talking things over in the dugout. Kile up to just about 100 pitches. Will doubtless sail into the 9th inning here.
His first conversation when he got back to the dugout was with Britt Reams, who was the starting pitcher on Thursday night. Britt trying to learn a little something from Kile as well on how he got out of that inning.
1-1 the count. Two balls and a strike. Two-hour, 32-minute rain delay at the outset. Boy, since we got going, it's been beautiful here.
Hit batsman of Vigna in the 4th inning leading off the inning led to a run with 1 out in the 8th. Hit batsman, that was Will Clark, led to 3 runs.
Into short left. Surhoff picks it up. Vigna has his 2nd hit of the game. Cardinals bats didn't wake up in this game really until the 7th inning. They got 3 then, 3 in the 8th. And their leadoff man is on in the 9th.
They did that Thursday night. A 3-1 ball game, and then they scored 9 runs over the last 4 innings.
Runner going. Drew pops one foul back.
He did the Braves a favor. That kept Vigna from swiping the base. He had a huge jump.
Drew is 0 for 3. He's yet to get the ball out of the infield. He is also sacrificed. Ground ball into right. Runner around second. He's going to try. Jordan's got another shot at him. Slid off the bag and he's out. That was a terrible call, by the way, because he got back to the bag okay. Hunter Wendelstedt flat out missed that one, it looked like.
You know what happened there, why they're arguing? Because Chipper went back for the tag the 2nd time. Hunter Wendelstedt called him out on the first tag, and if he was out, then why did Chipper go back and tag him a 2nd time? But a lot of times as an infielder, you don't know what the call is. You're not looking up to see just what the call is yet, and you're making sure you keep the tag on. Good throw by Jordan.
Let's see if he had him. I thought he got in there.
He called him out with the first attempt.
And then Chipper dove right back into the...
Yep.
Yeah. 9-5 takes care of Vigna.
That's a heck of a slide right there to avoid the tag. And the argument ensued after the 2nd application of the tag.
That throw to first almost picked Galarraga off. There goes the runner. Javi's throw into the dirt. Still got it.
What a play by Weiss.
Whew. Cardinals are assassinating themselves on the bases. 2 away.
This is not an easy play for Walt Weiss. Tricky short hop. He's got to come up with the glove and then get it back down in time for the tag. Nice job.
One and 0 the count on Edmonds. 2-1 now. Cardinals by 5.
He's the only one of their regulars that hasn't reached base today.
2-2 the count. Started to swing, could not stop, inning over. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, and nobody left. Bottom of the ninth, 7-2 St. Louis. Bottom half of the ninth inning. Darryl Kile guns for his 4th complete game of the year. He'll face Javi Lopez to lead things off. If Kyle can hang on here, he'll be 15-9 for the year.
It'll be his first win. Well, I'm back up, say he's only had 1 win against the Braves since 1996. This would be his 2nd in his last 10 starts against them. In only 98 pitches today, he has not walked a batter.
Javi has not gotten the ball out of the infield. He has popped to first, grounded to short, grounded to second. He's got that one out of the infield, but not enough. Edmonds is there. 1 out.
Well, you got to like what you've seen from Cardinals pitchers in this series, especially the last 2 days from Stevenson and Kyle. They are legitimate 1-2 guys, and they get Andy Bennis back. When they get in the playoffs, they are going to be tough on whoever they play. Pat Hintgen pitched 6 strong innings, only gave up 1 run in the first game of this series. And he's now a 13-game winner.
Fly ball into right. 2 out. He's on cruise control now. And here's the last hope for Atlanta, Reggie Sanders.
This is what Braves pitching, the Braves staff does to a lot of teams. You know, they'll go in for a 4-game series and take 3 out of 4 with 3 solid efforts by their starting pitchers. It's not often that the Braves have it turned over on them.
Three pitches. 3 outs and the ball game is over. Darryl Kile pitches a complete game victory. St. Louis wins 3 out of 4. Final here 7-2. And here's Joe.
Darryl Kile pitched a great ball game, but without a little help from the offense, particularly Placido Polanco, who is our AutoZone player of the game. He might have taken the loss in this game. Polanco with 3 hits in the ball game, that single in the 5th, then the big 2-run double in the 7th inning, and that's what put the Cardinals over the top. He had 3 RBIs in all, because then in the 8th inning, after these 2 runs scored, he picked up another double and drove in another run. 3 hits today with 3 RBIs. He had a double and an RBI last night as well. Placido Polanco, our AutoZone player of the game today. We'll be back to wrap up this game and this series right after this.
Station brought to you by Philips. Flat TVs, CD recorders, palm-sized PCs, and other ideas that are making life better all the time. By Office Depot, taking care of business 1 customer at a time with guaranteed low prices every day. By Delta, fly with me in mind. And by Imodium AD, restore yourself.
But the St. Louis Cardinals take 3 out of 4 from Atlanta, and they win the season series 4-3, and that's the first time the Cardinals have won the season series over the Braves since 1994. They did it in come from behind fashion, 7-2 the final. Each team stranded 5 runners. Darryl Kile earns his 4th complete game of the season by sticking it out and pitched out of some trouble at times too. He had a 2-hour and 32-minute rain delay that delayed things at the beginning, but 46,574 here to watch it. The 20th sellout of the year at Turner Field. The game only took 2 hours and 37 minutes. Also, the Mets won today, a close game, and a win over the Diamondbacks, and the Braves lead over the Mets down to 1 game in the National League East.
For the latest scores, in-depth analysis, CNNSI.com, Sports Illustrated at CNN's feed. Why are they so happy? Our next Braves telecast tomorrow at 7:35. The Reds come to town. And coming up at 8 o'clock tonight on the Superstation, Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman star in Hook. That's at 8 o'clock tonight. For Joe and Pete and Don and our entire TBS crew and our brand new $6 million truck. We got some strange people on this close. Skip Carey from the ballpark. So long, everybody.